Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a Pokeball, just your regular old plain vanilla Pokeball. If you want to make it, here's what you're going to need. You will need some black wool, some light grey, white, red, and finally some pink wool. Once you have every single one of those colours right there, and once you've figured out where you want to make it, I'll be making it right here, you'll want to kick this off with a row of 6 black wool in a row on the floor. That's 6 black wool. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And once you have your row of 6 black wool, this is what you want to do next. Starting from the left hand side of your row of 6, this first block right here, you want to do an up left diagonal. Then go left of it by 1. Then do 3 up left diagonals, so that's 1, 2, and 3. On top of the third up left diagonal, you want to go up on top of it by 4, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Once you've placed your 4 black wool on top of that initial block, you then want to extend the top 3 blocks of your row to the left by 1, giving you this Q shape, like this. Once you have your Q shape, you then want to place on top of this top left hand block 3 black wool coming up, so 1, 2, 3. Then do an upright diagonal, and place 1 on top. Then do 3 upright diagonals, so that's 1, 2, and 3. Go to the right of the third upright diagonal by 1. Then do another upright diagonal. And go to the right of it by 5, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then do a bottom right diagonal. And go to the right of it by 1. Then do 3 bottom right diagonals, so that's 1, 2, and 3. Go down from that third bottom right diagonal by 1. Then do another bottom right diagonal. And go down from it by 5, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And once you have went down by 5, you then want to extend the 2 bottom blocks to the left each by 1. You then want to go down from this bottom left hand corner block by 2, so that's 1, 2. You then want to do 3 bottom left diagonals, so that's 1, 2, and 3. Finish this off by going left of that third bottom left diagonal by 1 to give you something which should look a little bit like this. And by the way, it is not supposed to be symmetrical. That left hand side is supposed to be different to the right hand side, just in case you're curious. Once you've reached this point right here, and as always, pause this if necessary if you are still working on it of course, it's time for us to move on. So come over to this left hand side here where we have this first initial row of, I believe it's 5. From your row of 5 you want to take the... I'm so bad with maths. You want to take the third and fourth blocks of your row and extend them each to the right by 1. So this would be the third block and the fourth block. So you guys can see which blocks I'm talking about right there. Extend them both each to the right by 1, like that. Then take this bottom block here and extend it to the right by a further 2. So 1, 2. Then go down from each one of those 2 blocks by 1. And then go down by 1 from this right block by a further 1. And then from that block that you just went down by 1 with, do a bottom right diagonal from that block. And then go to the right of it by 2, so that's 1, 2. Then do an upright diagonal. And go up by 2, so that's 1 and 2. Then do an up left diagonal. And go left by 2, 1, 2. this is the shape that you want to have formed. And if you guys can tell what that is, that's kind of like the left part of where the Pokeball splits, and of course the big giant button shape that you press to open it up. Once you've done that, this is what you want to do now. So coming over to the right hand side of the button thingy, you want to, from the bottom block of your row of 3 here, you want to go right of this block by 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. You then want to take the middle block and go to the right of this middle block by 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You then want to go up on top of the 5th and 6th blocks each by 1. You then just want to bridge the gap between this right block and the right hand side of the outline of your Pokeball by placing a single black wall, to give you something which should in total look a little bit like this, just to show you guys the whole end result of this little middle section. Once you've taken care of that, we now have the pleasure of colouring in our Pokeball. So let's get cracking, shall we? Let's fill in the whole bottom section first. And you know what, guys? It's actually going to be really difficult for me to try and explain this. And when I say difficult, it's going to be kind of like a giant waste of time for me to try and explain what I'm doing with these colours. It'd be much easier for you guys to just see where I'm placing these and then just copy it directly onto yours. If I was to try and explain how I'm placing and where I'm placing that light grey, it would take me about 5 minutes. However, you can see quite clearly what I've just done there. So what I would suggest is for you to copy exactly what I have on my screen directly onto your Pokeball. Once you've done that, pause this if necessary, of course, we can move on. So now let's just colour in this little button, which is quite easy. You just place your 4 light greys in the 4 corners of the button, and then just fill the centre of the button in with white wool. Very simple indeed. Once you've done the button, we now just have to, other than filling this whole top section in red, we've just got a little bit of detail to add. We've just got a little bit of a gleam to add onto the Pokeball. So you want to come up to this block right here on the left hand side where we start doing the upright diagonals, and from the first single upright diagonal you just want to place a red directly underneath it, then place 2 pink wool going to the right of it, then place 2 rows of 2 white wool underneath the pink, and then just place pink all the way around the white, except you don't want the pink to connect, you just want it to kind of just go around the white like that rather than in a square shape. And once you've done that, all you have to do now is just colour the entire rest of the Pokeball in with red wool and you are good to go. That is that, there is nothing else to it, there's no special detail. However, I can't say the same with the other Pokeballs. I'm not sure if you guys all managed to see the videos in the old subscriptions tab, but I'm going to be making 4 of these. I'm going to be making this regular Pokeball, the Great Ball, the Ultra Ball, and of course, the Ultimate Master Ball. I figured that I may as well make all 4 of them in one go and then upload them separately. I was going to throw them into one video, however, I'm just letting you guys know, this isn't the only Pokeball that I've made. I have made 3 others. And there you go. Once you have coloured that top section of your Pokeball in with red, and of course the little highlighted area, the little gleam of light on the upper left hand side, you have fully completed your regular old Pokeball. Hopefully you guys found this easy enough to follow. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Hopefully one of my other Pokeball videos. I would suggest moving on to the Great Ball.